everybody, it's your boy, the Versace Stoner, with another episode of VSW.
This one's a big chew.
That's right, folks. Big news flash up. Oh my God! VSW.
Brass hats know what time it is. Get up off of your seats and bow down to the king.
One of the greatest in this game, and one of my favorite all-time people in this game. The Versace Stoner!
It's places like this. I started in a mill. I'm here still in a mill. I consider myself a mill wrestler.
Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stoner. And we're here with, of course, Disabled Eve. And we are going to be talking Limitless Wrestling Cutloose tonight. And we're also going to be calling in another guest, Mike. Yeah, as you know, well, as people don't know, Versace Stoner did not make it to Maine. But Disabled Wolf and Mike did, and we are going to talk all about it, all the great matches that took place. So stay tuned, everybody. Why don't you give Mike a call, and we're going to start to kick things off a little bit here, huh?
You got it, Versace. What an amazing show this was. Was a kick-ass show from top to bottom. Ooh.
Hello.
Hey.
What is going on, Mike?
What's going on, Versace? How you doing, Wolf?
I'm great, Mike. I was telling the fans how this was one of the best Limitless show of the ages.
It was a jam-packed card. It was great. It was great taking the four-hour round trip up to Yarmouth, Maine. They had a jam-packed card. Randy Carver always puts on a great show up in Maine. So it's they have some best of the talent from their dojo up in Maine, as well as a lot of the New Englanders from the New England Pro Wrestling Academy. So it's just great talent, great wrestling. It was great to be a part of it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I really loved it. I really loved how awesome it was.
You know, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get out there. I had some family issues take place.
And
but
you were Miss Versace.
I know I was. And I will be out to the next one, which is a very special guest. We'll talk later about that. It's going to be there. But also, you know, I just want to say, though, I'm going to be part of this conversation. I mean, I know the characters that we're going to be talking about, obviously.
Oh, you
I
did.
know the matches. I was looking forward to this. This was going to be... I knew it in my head. I told you. And, you know, because me and you had talked earlier about this. This is going to be one of those upsy-daisy shows due to the way the playoff schedule ran. And that was meaning if the Patriots had moved forward, there was a good potential that you would be going to that playoffs game on that Saturday, watching the Patriots play.
But they didn't win the division.
They did not win their division, and instead you got a great wrestling show out of the deal.
Hell yeah.
You know, so let's dive right into it. You know, there really was, I mean, well, what people thought would have been the main event announced
is AC Baby versus the Prize City OG, Alec Price.
That was for the Limitless World title. You know, a championship that has a lot of prestige behind it, starting with MJF.
MJF. Retro, but not. But the alternative, Anthony Green.
You've had Carmelo Hayes. Formerly known as, you know, Christian Casanova. And you had Daniel Garcia as well.
They say it's a golden curse, but a curse for Randy. The title's a golden curse. Whoever has it, great things are going to happen in your future.
Well, you know, that's great because Anthony Green has had it twice. So, you know, will lightning strike twice for Anthony Green? We'll just have to wait and check that out. You know, what do you think about Mike? You know, you're kind of new to Limitless this year. We brought you down there. I remember you came to the first show back with us.
I think, I'm fairly new to Limitless Wrestling. I know I went with you guys and that show was probably a few months back, so it was great to go again. So I think that was my second time going to Limitless, and I think they're just doing a phenomenal job. I mean,
Yeah, it's a really clean cut, really nice promotion.
You don't see many botches, if any, at all.
I don't see that. I see great wrestling that's at the same caliber, honestly, as your television wrestling.
Much in ring work because they have sometimes they bring in wrestlers from in other areas out of state, but a lot of their guys are homegrown from the Limitless Dojo in Maine, and then you got the great school of the New England Pro Wrestling Academy, which is putting out so much great talent. And now a lot of their guys and gals are expanding all across the country now and everything. It's they mold a good wrestler, and they have good fundamentals, and their in-ring work is great. So I mean, you don't see a lot of botches. Everything looks crisp, and it makes it look good for an overall presentation for the audience in person or watching on video.
It really does. You're right. It really does. And like I said, it does have that crisp element, no matter who is actually, filming it too. Also is a big part. If you have, Henry Aaron filming it, it looks, really crisp, clean, fabulous. If you have Todd Graham filming it, it looks really crisp,
As long as
clean,
it's
awesome.
a maniac down in the South Shore.
No, it's nobody down there filming. Okay, the two filming people that I've seen film Limitless Wrestling are both phenomenal filmographers of wrestling. They do a great job, and it's better than what you see on TV at some points. But we opened this up with
it was AC Romero coming to a ring with Mac with a mic with the new song. It's Big Boy Season. It's Big Boy Season.
So no more singing and dancing with AC.
Nope. No more Eddie money for him.
Oh boy.
And the thing is he had the mic saying that he ain't waiting to the main event. He ain't waiting. He wants his title and he wants it now. And Alec Price, get your ass out here. And then they both start to attack, and then 2 minutes later the match starts.
Well, AC is an OG of Limitless. I have a very old disc, I think like Thrills and Chills or something, Thrills. And he's on there. He's on the cover. This dude has been an original. He's been in Major League Wrestling. He's been in AEW
Impact Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling. Limitless Wrestling. Chaotic Wrestling. He's running rampant in New England. And
see Alec Price wrestle a former Impact superstar.
But he's another. Alec Price is another kid.
He got a WWE tryout a few weeks ago. He's blown up. He
did defeat Anthony Green for that Limitless title. He's had some other really great matches.
Oh, I know it.
And he hasn't even probably hit, his prime yet.
Not even close.
So,
he's even 24 years old.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the youngin'. We can expect a lot out of him. So to have and AC is fairly young too. He actually is. So to have these two OGs and their former friends go at it here.
Yeah.
For the Limitless World title is great.
It's very great indeed for Sachi because AC Romero is a great challenger. Believe it or not, he's never had a one-on-one opportunity for that Limitless World title. And last month's show, when the match was Alec Price versus Chris Bay, ended up being for the title. Very surprised. It was a very good kicking match between both these men of the same in-ring styles. And then AC attacked Price with JT Dunn, and it was supposed to be a tag between Price and Anthony Green versus Dunn and Romero of the debuting unit in Maine, but that got changed. But the owner of Chaotic Wrestling was at a different promotion, so we got to see these two clash earlier again.
But you did see the former owner of that promotion.
Yes, Chase Del Monte, yeah.
So I mean, now you just can really just kind of chill, relax, kind of hang out, have a few beers with the boys.
Oh yeah.
Maybe him and Love Doug, two former Chaotic Wrestling Well, not really former. I mean, I guess
Former.
Chase still has a job. Love
Yeah.
Dog does not.
Absolutely. Love Doug is currently not employed in chaotic wrestling right
No, he's
now.
not. He's all done there.
But we'll go on to the match. It starts off where they were fighting outside the ring.
Holding that show.
Absolutely. Yeah, so there was a lot. You saw a lot of action outside the ring to begin this match, Mike, right?
Sure did. They were going all around the ring. I think they were going in the audience a little bit as well. It was a hectic match before the in the ring and before the ref rang the bell. So it was hard hitting before the actual match started. So it hyped up the crowd real good. And then when they got in the ring, it all came together.
Absolutely. There was one move I was impressed. You got the agility and speed of Alec Price. You got the heavy hitting of Ace Romero. And in the ring, when we thought Ace was all weird out outside, the prize OG tried to do the moonsault from the top of the rope outside the ring. And AC Reverse had an uppercut. And there were half the chants called Big Boy Season, Alec Price. Big Boy Season.
Well, you got to
Alec
remember
Price.
this Saco Maine, homegrown wrestler is still loved in the Limitless community. At least 50% of them love him still.
50%, absolutely.
At least half of those fans are still gonna be chanting for AC, regardless of, what he represents, whether he's with
Still
the
listen,
unit or
Sacco.
not. Exactly.
We even drove through it, right, Wolf? We
Yeah.
went through Saco.
Yes, we did go through Saco to get there. A lot of great eateries, a lot of great car places.
Oh, nice.
And
I'll have
the
to
woods.
check that out sometime,
Definitely would check out the woods and the places near that Versace.
Sounds like Slender Man was out in that area, the way the route you guys went.
Ha ha ha. But we were alive and made it
the
safe.
scenic route with 3 hours up there the first way, going up there.
But you saved $8 on the tolls.
Yes, we did. So that was good.
So it all works out.
Yeah,
It all
definitely.
works out,
No lighter.
Now we just need you to find a way to get for free from here to Jersey, and we're all set.
Woo! Absolutely. So, anyways, back to the match where there was uppercuts and AC Romero was yelling at the referee, right? Trying to swear to call. And Alec Price was going for the running upwards kick, and then AC accidentally bumped into AC to bump into the ref. So there was one ref that was checked out, one knocked out.
Oh, really?
And they sent another one. AC kept attacking them.
AC knocked him down too.
And Alec Price
was on a
kicked out of
rampage.
not one, but 2 pile driver AC bombs.
Let me ask you, did Greenleaf get injured in this match?
Nope, but he was there in the stands. He wasn't even in this match.
Oh, that's
The
good.
one time they needed a ref.
Oh, I don't think AC would have been able to take out Greenleaf. Greenleaf is made of steel.
Yeah. Kryptonite for AC.
Oh, yeah. But, so it basically ended in a debacle? I mean, how did this thing end up, really?
So it ended when AC hit another referee, and then right when he was about to fall asleep, he got disqualified. Price won, and he tried to put Price in a sleeper, and then all the dojo students and security came out, and then ooh, heaven is a place on earth.
And then AG came
AG
to the
showed up.
wrestling.
No surprise.
No, and he started a lot earlier than with an announcement of his own that instead letting them fight. He's tired of seeing those two fight all the time, and it hurts the locker room. It hurts everything. So he wanted them to give it all they got, and he wanted a referee that could handle that. So it's Alec Price versus AC Romero. Everything goes next month in February at the end of the month with AG as the referee.
Wow. Okay, there's going to be a lot of I don't know. There's going to be a lot of speculation in this match, a lot of conspiracy theory in this match. There's going to be a lot of talk in this match. We're going to have a lot of fun with this match on our preview for this show.
I cannot wait till the preview.
And we will definitely be at this show because this is going to be It's gonna be something big.
Wait till
I
you-
mean, like I said, I just by you telling me just that there gives me chills because there's so many things running through my head. Knowing the curse of the golden curse of that limitless world title, knowing what you just said earlier about Alec Price, knowing a bunch of other things, a million thoughts go through my head. But so this war is far from over, but it sounds like it will be finished.
Randy took
next
Page
month.
of the Bryan Danielson versus Heyman Page match in the AEW Grand Slam and Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega match into the Heyman Page match in their TBS debut. And there was a draw that led to collision to fans anticipating the next match. And this gives an excuse of why it was moved early. I was shocked as everyone else, but then if it ended in a no contest in a way where fans weren't upset, great job ending it, Randy, because they wanted, and it led people to know that more was coming next
Well, at least
month.
they had a plan for the ending. Unlike some promotions, they have no plan for the ending of the show. They just kind of ended on any
And
note.
frame
they
it
feel
on
like
the
it.
stooge, right?
Yeah, they frame it on the idiot. Yeah, I'm not gonna get involved with that. But why don't we move on to the next match? But I mean, I'm really excited now for the next show.
Are you ready to move on, Versailles?
I sure am.
So the next match was the second match of the night, and it consisted of the Fatal 4-Way, obviously. Now that AG was out in the ring, he was antsing to step up in the match, and then Kevin Blackwood's music comes. And here comes a guy, a luchador, king of strong Sultan, has a Pikachu with him, and he praises Pika power on his tights. Blanco Loco, taking on the Ghetto Samurai, Nolo Catino, and the eighth as a crippler, Kevin Blackwood, the alternative, Anthony Green. If you want to move up in a future, up the ladder, this Fatal 4-Way was a good way to stand out.
Right off the bat, I can just say without even being there, I mean, you got two of my favorite wrestlers in this. One of my favorite all-time wrestlers, a true inspiration for me in this whole ever of wrestling, honestly. Like, they asked me a question the other day, who inspires you in wrestling? Now, earlier it would have been decades of people like, when I was growing up, we
John
didn't know any
Cena.
better. Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, later
Bret
on.
Hart.
Bret Hart, yes. Later on, Stone Cold, Mick Foley, Undertaker,
And
John
Cena.
Cena,
Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, goes on and on. But what got me back into this scene of wrestling, what got me back into it was one man and one man in particular, and I was seeing him wrestle a few times, and I interacted with him, and he gave me some matches to check out for free on YouTube, and that would be
Anthony.
the alternative Anthony Green. And, I've been following this dude around ever since. Not following literally, I didn't go to his Germany show, but, I watch his matches, whether it's on IWTV or I see him in person. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, a really down-to-earth, cool dude. And
he's a really good guy. He stays till the end, whether his match.
Oh, he's a locker room general and a half, and he can really just, make the difference in a show just by being there, just by helping out, and just, he always gives it everything he always gives, and he gives it to the fans, and that's Andy Green. But you also have another one of my favorite wrestlers to come out, and now
he doesn't have the other Buffalo boy in his shadow.
No, but unfortunately I don't get to see him much because he is on the West Coast now, and that is Kevin Blackwood. I love this dude. We saw him, and I went all the way to Jersey. Went to see this dude in VXS. He's great in that promotion. It's a little bit more of a mature promotion. They have a little bit more hardcore death matching kind of things, but
and video game theme too.
A little bit,
he's
yes.
technical. He's a little high flying, a little like MMA style.
All of these people were high flyers in this match.
He's a total
I feel like.
package.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, Anthony Green's a very high flyer. We saw, right before wrestling got shut down, the world shut down, we saw him in a really great high-flying match with
BC Dub.
But it was the last Evolve show, and he faced the Mansoor.
Mansoor,
In
yeah.
a very high-flying match.
AG can basically he can do it all. AG.
He can, and so that's why this is like, it's a great match. And then, like you said, Katana, we talked about this, and I'm going to be eager to hear how, because I've only seen him in that trios match with the main event.
No Catino.
But, so tell me, how did this match go? Talk about it, guys.
This match started off with everyone in the ring, and you had this guy had a stuffed Pikachu, right? So they were chanting Pika Power for Blanco Loco.
Yeah, we're into it.
Yeah, and there was Kevin Blackwood was like, you want it to him? Showed him a Pikachu. I just posted that short a day ago, and then he kicked Pikachu right into Blanco's Loco's face, and then he stomps on him.
Oh my God. The disrespect.
Yeah, the AG basically fighting Kevin Blackwood for the most part. They each had a suplex of each. Kevin Blackwood tried to get him in the sleeper hold. And then there was a nice move in this match. They all had great aerial moves. When Noel Catino, he was running back to the back rope, and Kevin Blackwood was getting him out when Blanco Loco was trying to do a high flying move. But he ends up, Blanco Loco shoots him up in the air, and Noel Catino spins on the top rope to AG and Kevin Blackwood. And it was an oh my God moment.
Wow, this is one of those matches that I would like I said, I mean, this whole show I missed, but this was one of the ones I was really looking forward to, especially when we were previewing this, because of the high caliber, the speed, and just the aerial athletics of these people in this match. And you got to see some new faces as well.
Yeah, this Blanco Loco has a Pikachu all over his gear, and he had a lot.
You must have really liked that. You being an avid Pokemon fan, Disabled, must have really appreciated this. I like when Panchu was like all giggly over seeing Gamer Leroy with the switch.
Yeah.
He was like a high-flying Power Ranger.
He did look like a Pink Ranger gear with the Zeo Ranger face.
What'd you think of him, Mike? Huh?
I thought he. I think that's the first time I ever saw him. I think he's going to do some great things in Limitless if they invite him back. He's got I think he's got a good character, a good gimmick. And he looks like he's technical and high flying. So I think the fans were taking to him. I think he's going to do a great job.
That's great. And that's what we like to see, and that's what's great about Limitless is
they rotate the biggest indie names.
They bring in the biggest indie names. They rotate them, but we also get to see the fresh talent come in. We get to see some new people, and if they are good, they do come back. Not even if they're just good, if they can come back, but we saw Dango a few times.
Absolutely.
We've seen other wrestlers that are with high names come back on multiple times, or at least annually.
Oh, I know it. Very, very true.
So,
and you got Anthony Green, who did come away with this victorious because Blanco Loco was trying to attack him, right? He was kicking him, and then Anthony Green caught him up in the turnbuckle. Charmeleon is better.
I'm gonna pull a Jordan at Chaotic. I'm not supposed to clap and applaud for the winner, and I'm usually supposed to just kind of be neutral. But I'm gonna have to say I'm very happy that Anthony Green won this match. He's far superior wrestler than most of the wrestlers out there right
Blanco
now.
Loco too.
He pinned it over Blanco Loco. Yeah. But you know what? I want to see him in a one-on-one again with Blackwood.
Absolutely. Well, you might get that because he was trying after they all shook hands. He tried to shake Blackwood's hand. Blackwood looked like he was going to go for it, and then Blackwood flipped him off.
But I would like to see it with this stipulation. And if Randy Carver, you are listening, I would like to see it with the stipulation of it being an I quit match. I want to see submission. I want to see a submissions match. I know AG can wrestle with the best of them. I know he can high fly. I can see him do almost anything. But I don't really see him do a lot of submissions to make his opponents tap.
No way. Blackwood has a huge advantage.
Where Blackwood has the MMA experience type style of wrestling that could really damage an opponent. I would love to see this matchup like that. And, let's see it. Because these are the two brightest stars in this game right now. You got one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast now.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely do with that one.
It's like the Biggie Tupac situation.
I don't know if I.
What's Limitless's major show in the year? What do they call it?
Euphoria this year.
Well,
It's
this year
anniversary
it would be
show.
their anniversary show this year.
Well, their Vacation Land Cup show
Vacation
in
Land
July.
Cup, and then you got the anniversary show, which was then named Euphoria at the time. But yes, Vacation Land Cup is also the next biggest show. It's kind of what determines, who's gonna
Face the champion.
facing the champion, and we've seen a lot of turnovers happen. We've even seen a champion crowned out of Vacation Land Cup. When AG first did leave on the road, when he was picked up by WWE, and now he is no longer on that. He came back, and the story, from there.
And are you ready to move on, Versace?
I sure am.
So
What's the next match?
The next match is going to be a women's match, one-on-one, between the leader of the Scrunchy Squad, Becca, taking on the Renaissance woman competing in England, Japan, and in the U.S. as the Renaissance woman, Hayan. What did you think of Hayan, Mike, when you saw her for the first time?
That was the first time I saw her, because I think that might have been the first time that I never seen her wrestle live, and I'm not sure if I ever saw her until this past Saturday night. So and she's coming in, I think first time to Limitless, and I think she did a great job, and she wrestled probably, in my opinion, the number one female wrestler out of New England, and I think they had I think the match they showed both of them. They both showed their technical side in the match. It was hard hitting, and it was an overall great match.
Absolutely, it was very similar acrobatic gymnast styles between the two.
It was similar. Would you say it was a similar style match to the previous where Becca faced Davey in a very technical style wrestling?
Yes, it actually was, but the difference was, Versace, is that it was a different style. You had a heavy hitting Davian and an acrobatic gymnast high flyer Becca. But in this match, it started off, they were shaking hands, trying to get the shake, then test the strength. But the thing I notice about Hayan compared to any female wrestler or male wrestler is that she tries to fool people with manifold gestures, and she is really good at playing mind games. And with Becca, she tried to get her to shake hands on the rope. Started off with a test of strength for like 3 minutes. These girls couldn't capitalize on each other. But Hayan was using like trap cards from Yu-Gi-Oh! Not Yu-Gi-Oh! Not actual cards, but setting traps every time. With her manifold gestures, Becca was trying to go for a slap, then a punch. And then she tried to shake her hand when Becca was trapped in the mid ropes, and then she slams Becca to the turnbuckle ropes, and it really hurt her, and she tried to get the roll up, but it didn't happen. But they kept fighting. It was Becca getting the best of her once she did that famous 450 splash, and she was able to, but Hayan had control most of the match till the very end. What do you think, Mike?
I thought it was an overall great match. I haven't seen one bad match from Becca. I think Becca's gonna be signed by AEW or WWE.
As she had an appearance in Dark Elevation a few weeks ago, and she's also going to Germany and England to wrestle in Shimmer and some other promotions in Europe in a few weeks.
And the crazy thing is, she's only been wrestling for 2 years, and she's having great success.
Very much. She was basic Becca in NCW. Versace basically saw the debut.
I remember when Becca came in NCW, basic Becca, she was showing off her guns that day. She had very big pythons. I mean, these were bigger than Hogan's. She came down to the ring, and I started to follow on social media. She had a very little kind of fitness gimmick going. She was going to kind of do this 80s fitness thing, and then all of a sudden, the Scrunchie Squad just blew up. She did start the Scrunchie Squad, though, that NCW season opener of 2020, right before the world got shut down. And it started with, actually, Becca,
Little Mean
Kathleen,
Paris
Van Dale, and her former friend,
Amani
Chaos.
Well,
And it was the leader of the Scrunchie Squad that did get the best of this match. Hit in a big victory before a big tour in Europe.
I think she's gonna make a huge name out in over in Europe. I think she's gonna be going back to Europe a lot.
Very, very could possibly happen. You never know. People coming out of the new.
You know, I'm seeing and hearing a lot of these stars and wrestlers are going to other countries and becoming world-renowned wrestlers, and that's just wonderful. That's wonderful to get that experience in, because before, back in the day when we first started watching wrestling, like, the only place you would really wrestle if you weren't wrestling in the U.S. is if you were really good, you would be invited to Japan.
Yeah.
And you had to be big, though. You had to be big. Like, Andre got to go to Japan. Hogan went to Japan.
I don't think Sydney even got to go to Japan.
No, they didn't let poor Sidney Barker. He was just close from getting on the plane to Japan, and Vern actually stole his ticket and went instead. Vern Gagne, you know, wrestling great. But, yeah, you know, these women are the future of the women's wrestling. You know, when you think about it, whether it is AEW, WWE, they could be the Impact World Champion.
Knockouts.
Yes.
You can see her in NWA. There's plenty of opportunities, plenty of places now that these people can wrestle in. Whereas, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, it was a whole different scene.
Absolutely. Versace. There was a huge scene with women where they were made as like popcorn matches per se.
Yeah, exactly, and it just wasn't right. It just didn't feel right. It almost felt like kind of like what they did in the 80s of women's wrestling. If you kind of remember, like, you would have a match here or there, and then they brought it back a little bit in the 90s with Alundra Blaze and, you know, Yoko. What was her name? Bull Nakano. And
that's right. Yeah, you got it.
Wendy Rector.
And, before, earlier in the decade, you had Wendy Rector, and you had, you know, the great Moolah back in the day who got now criticized. Mae Young, all these people that wrestled, but it wasn't consistent. It just wasn't there as...
To allow women to do the spots.
Exactly, even with the title didn't mean anything. And, you know, you saw what Alundra Blaze did with the title. She threw the trash.
Oh, yeah.
But today, now, it means something. You know, women's revolution is alive and well in wrestling. It is a wonderful thing. And also, the other thing that's really great in wrestling right now, especially in the indie scene, is the intergender scene.
Which makes me love the indie scene. Have them compete with men.
It's right, point on point. You know, and Impact Wrestling is great. You can have a woman as a world champion. It doesn't have to be the knockout champion.
Absolutely. And it carries the matches way better, too.
Tessa Blanchard versus Sami Callihan for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship. That was a great match.
Exactly. So someday you might see, you know, Becca as the World Heavyweight Champion of Impact.
You already saw Davey and win the Chaotic Heavyweight Championship.
Davey could be the same thing, you know, and that's another thing, you know. So,
it's just a matter of time.
Absolutely. Are you ready to move on, guys?
I sure am.
So the next match was a match me and you were really looking forward to.
Oh my God, I was so pumped for this match. You're not gonna, you know,
What match was it?
It was between two hostiles of men who don't talk much but just wrestle. It is the convict Rikers of Slade versus Iron Rip Bison.
This, you know, I was wondering if this was going to be the most physical match of the night, or would it be
physical with the same mindset. Legit, when one person slammed, the other slammed. If one person had a strike, they threw a strike. If someone else had a chop, they threw a chop. You get what I'm saying?
So it was very eye for an eye.
Eye for an eye, hoss for a hoss.
Wow.
There was no weapons
my favorite
needed.
part of the match between Slade and Bison was the body slam that Slade gave Bison to the floor.
Absolutely, and Ripper did it back, and then they did it again. It was fast paced, like when you see the chops on TV of the strike exchanges. Oh,
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2.
I love seeing Slade out here in Limitless. I mean,
he's known for being in Beyond.
I've known him, and that's why I saw him was in Beyond, and known for the hardcore matches that he performed, mostly with weapons. Extreme. We had a great, insane match with Alec
Cougar. Wheeler Yuta he faced.
And all sorts of other, crazy matches. He's just known for it.
And he just loves taking a beating, and he reflects that pain to any opponents he faces.
But you said that there was no weapons needed, which means this was kind of a straight, just aggressive wrestling match.
They fought equally in the ring as well as outside the ring.
And it seemed it was a pretty even-paced match, like
very
you said.
Even-paced. There wasn't acrobatics or styles of over-the-top rope maneuvers, but you didn't need any aerial maneuvers in this one. There's a great hard-hitting back-and-forth match that the fans needed.
That is great.
What did you think of this match, Mike?
It was from being there in person. It was just hard hitting back and forth. It wasn't really a wrestling match. It wasn't technical. It was just hard hits back and forth. And like you said, Wolf, an eye for an eye. So if one person gave one person a punch, the other one strike back. If someone gave someone a body slam, the other person got up, body slammed their opponent. Until whoever, and I can't remember. And then
it was Ripper that came away with the victory.
Who won the match, Wolf?
With a clothesline. He got Slade with a clothesline from Helter, and the Ripper winged it and won the match.
Wow. This has been like a great streak for Rip Bison, I feel. He's been having some great matches.
Yeah, it was great.
He won against Masha Slamovich in Wrestle.
What about his match with Beef?
He won that one too, and it got Beef to be a changed man to lead into this main event we'll talk about.
And he's had other matches, and I feel like he's just been on a great roll in Limitless Maine.
Since he took off the tomahawk.
Yeah, once he dropped the tomahawk, and actually, honestly, and I hate to say it, but he got out of the tag team wrestling. Him and Perry were a great tag team. Mad was a great thing. We saw them in NCW. I've seen them around. They even went all the way to Texas to wrestle, which is pretty cool. But honestly, Rip Bison and Perry Von Vicious are both just great, independently, by themselves, powerhouse wrestlers. Unless they do some kind of like a Demolition style, go just
you
full.
Think of 80s Demolition.
You have to go full throw with it. You have to make it a trios and bring in Dylan Nix.
Ooh, Lord Tensa.
You bring in those three as like the new Demolition, and it might work. And I thought that's what Mad was gonna be, and it kind of just got shaky. And then there was injuries, COVID happened, everything. Now everybody's in their individual kind of zones.
And Ripper even has his own promotion.
They do, Pro Wrestling Grind.
He fought Warhorse the night before.
Which, the fact that he fought Warhorse the night before and then fought Slade.
And beat Slade.
I don't know what happened at the previous night. We'll have to try to delve those results. Maybe we'll even recap. I got to figure out how to watch it. But, Warhorse is no easy, match.
Absolutely, it ain't easy. He rules ass.
I find it kind of funny, though, that this match was not after
the intermission.
Yeah,
it wasn't even before. We all thought it was going to be before. But out comes, we're going to have to move on now. J.D. Drake.
Oh, the J.D. Drake challenge.
And the first thing he talked about isn't about who he was going to face and have the person come out. It was him cutting a promo how he's tired of putting people over. He said a quote that the future of professional wrestling goes through him. He created it and he wants to end it.
He used the term "put over."
Yeah, absolutely.
So
He's sick of
he
being
broke the wrestling veil. He broke the kayfabe.
He even got into an exchange with the teenager sitting in the front of me and Mike.
What do you think of that? What do you think of JD Drake, Mike?
We'll call him badass.
He seems he's like an old school wrestler. He's good on the mic. He knows how to interact with the crowd. The crowd really reacts to him, and he's only I think he's only like 35 years old, and he's on the indie scene as well as taking part in AEW
as a wingman.
To work, he's a great wrestler.
That's what does strike me as kind of odd of the whole thing is that he is kind of this old school, old traditional style wrestler.
And he says that he knows he looks like a typical average fan,
but he broke,
did it, and they're paying for a ticket now.
But he broke down the veil and used wrestling terms in talking about people going over, which means that, as everybody knows, wrestling, the word going over is who's going to win the match. So, I mean, we all know it's predetermined. So, I don't think he should have broke that veil. That's just my opinion. It's kind of like a strike on him. Like, you're an AEW wrestler, too. You're a TV star, and you're going to break the veil on Limitless. Like, I don't know. But he is a great wrestler. We've seen him mostly doing tag team as
with
before.
Anthony Henry and the Workhorseman, or the wingman on AEW television.
But now he is back in the singles limelight, and this time he is not the fan favorite. He was against Garcia, but now things have changed.
He fought Alec Price in WrestleWall, and they put on a 5-star match.
Now let me ask you, was he smooching anybody tonight?
Well, he almost did. At least his opponent tried to get it and wait for it.
I'm waiting.
The person who accepted the JD Drake superstar making challenges, none other than Duke.
No way.
Yes way.
The former chaotic wrestler.
And last time we saw him in our hometown, he got taken away as many of our Watertown H2O people dying to see him. Heart just.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why didn't you help the guy?
He asked us the same thing, Versace. He knew you weren't there. He shook his head when he told, and he's like, and I told him he got away from an unsafe work environment to a positive boss and Randy Carver, as JT Dunn and the unit aren't really fond of his style, and it struck him the wrong way, and the new management team didn't want him around the transition.
No, they weren't really, gonna. I don't think he would have actually, made it anywhere far.
He did cost AC a pandemonium match.
He did, but at the end of the day, I don't see JT Dunn putting him in the big matches.
And at the end of the day, Love Doug has more oh my god moments in Yarmouth, Maine.
He does. We've seen him really grow in Yarmouth, Maine. We've seen him grow on the road, actually. That's where we saw a lot of broken hearts.
One of the best intergender rivalries in history with him and the icon Ava Everett.
An amazing match that really captivated us. We saw blood. We saw guts. We saw it all.
And he did a great match. It was one of his best performances.
Now, I know Disabled Wolf's a huge fan of Love Doug. He loves Love Doug. The VSW is a big fan of Love Doug. We love Doug. What about you, Mike? What's your take on Love Doug?
I think Love Doug's a good. He's how long has Love Doug been wrestling for? A few years now.
Like 2 years.
I think right before the pandemic, right? Another one.
Just finished his training with
Becca and Ricky Smokes. It's that whole class, right?
It really is.
Starks and Becca, yeah. He's doing phenomenal. I think he relates well to the audience. He's got a good gimmick, and his in ring style is very good.
Absolutely, he loves everyone just like Brother Love did.
He's just going to get better and better. And he's like 30, I think he's like 35 years old. He started a little late, but I think he's still making headway on the New England and the New England.
Trying to capture the hots of the wrestling audience.
I think he's going to get booked in a lot of other states.
He already has. He's gotten booked in every low to high tier promotion in New England. He's just getting featured as Beyond's new promotion, Wrestling Open.
I saw him all the way out at that Jersey promotion.
Oh yeah.
I like how he throws hearts into the audience. Our section got a lot of hearts. We all got to pick some up, put them in our pockets.
We always
Yes, you got some. I got some too from a show. I actually got a petal of the rose that he used over Everett's head to steal a match.
That's gonna be worth something someday.
Well, and I heard you bought a pair of glasses, Disabled.
Yes,
Congratulations. Congratulations on spending some money. What about you, Mikey? You buy any merch from anybody?
The next time I go, sure. I'm gonna be purchasing some merch from the talent. I didn't have any cash on.
Oh yeah, it's cash only. There is no ATM there.
That's the one problem with Yarmouth is their ATM is actually.
You always gotta remember to hit that little mark before.
For Dunkin's and gas.
For Dunkin's and gas. But yeah, so I mean, you have Love Doug versus JD Drake. This is kind of like a David and Goliath match, let's face it.
It really is, and it started off. Love Doug tried to get a kiss, and then JD Drake just pushed his head away. And Love Doug tried to run and jump all the way from the middle rope, and JD Drake just countered with a clothesline right into him. Whenever Love Doug gave his best, JD Drake capitalized.
So really, Love Doug stood no chance.
He almost did it. Thought he was going to do it when he reversed one of Drake's moves.
He beat Goliath, but JD Drake was just a little too powerful.
Little too powerful.
Especially once he did his slam. He wanted to pound Love Doug again, so he had the referee count, and he got over. He has a great top rope aerial move for a guy his size, and he had the spinning backward slam onto Love Doug again.
Did he land the moonsault?
Yes, he did this time.
He actually landed it, and yeah, he does
that
have.
Poor Doug's
he has a great moonsault for being his size and speed. It's amazing.
And Love Doug tried to give him a hug after, and then JD Drake just broke his heart even more. And he even said to Love Doug, which kind of had the momentum switch to him in the middle of the match when he had Love Doug on the turnbuckles. He was like, "You have no heart," and he's like, "It's already broken," and kept attacking him. Kept punching Drake left, right.
Well, he is no danger kid, I guess, huh?
No, not at all. JD Drake wasn't too fond of Love Doug and squashed him. And then Rip Bison comes out. Because earlier, when I had to cut to the JD Drake match, because he had a Mikey interrupt Rip's music celebration, and then Ripper pushed Love Doug, got him safe when JD Drake was going to try and hit Doug with a steel chair. But Bison just countered and started hitting them.
Ooh, we're gonna see that match. Now that could be a very, very hostile and hard hitting match. Both of them can hit.
That's worthy of going before or after an intermission. Speaking of, we hit intermission where I saw AC Baby for $20. He was charging for an AC Baby selfie with the postcard with him and Impact, and I got that. Pick 8x10 pick.
Nice.
Wrote it to the VSW podcast.
Oh, that's great. It was made right out to us. AC Baby. Gotta love it.
And one of the fans on the VSW's YouTube channel is going to be thrilled when he hears it.
I hope so. AC has a lot of fans, and it extends a long way. He's a great wrestler. No, very often. Not very often.
Doug where he asked why the VSW didn't help him in his own hometown. But if you watch Chaotic, you saw him get escorted out of the building. He was trying to get in.
He didn't get escorted. He got thrown out, and he was told not to go, and he did not listen to owners, and he went anyways.
But the former owner was there cheering him on.
He wasn't booked. He shouldn't have went. You know, this reminds me of other situations. People that show up at matches and shows that they aren't wanted at.
Oh, yeah.
Or don't really belong and kind of just need to be thrown out. And, you know, this that's what happened with Love Dog. I don't feel bad for Love Dog in that situation at Chaotic because he was warned about it.
Absolutely. I tried to get him booked, and the new management wasn't too thrilled with me threatening to refund my ticket when I did that. But I still love you, Doug.
Love Dog.
And now you ready to move on?
I am. So you had the intermission. You had a good time. You guys kind of chilled. You met some of the wrestlers. Talked with Love Dog. Talked with AC.
Sorry, G, his line was very long.
Mike, bring some money next time. Cash, rather.
Yes. It's always good to support the local talent.
You have
I
to.
always try to do a different one each show.
Long ways to come to the show.
Some of them do. Some of them drive just as long as the fans, if not further. And as you know, what an independent contractor means. I know you know, Mike. I've been in the same position. It means you get very little, and you put up a lot of your own asset, you're using your own car, you're using your own way around. It's very rare in wrestling that, people get their transportation and their accommodations paid for. So it does help, and everything does help that when we
support your favorite person.
The ring announcer, as always, Rich Palladino, always makes it a good point to tell the audience to always support your local or wrestler who's traveled a long ways to come to the show, because any making an extra $100 selling merch, it goes a long way for all the talent.
And you know what? And don't forget to support Rich too. Rich has his own merch. He has
new pins coming out.
He has what?
New pins coming out.
Oh, he's gonna have new pins coming out. And he's
amazing talent.
He's another one that the voice of New England. Him and Sam Lantana, they really just kill it for our area, and we're very blessed to have them.
A big indie match in Massachusetts or New England rather without Rich.
Nope, I cannot. So let's move on now.
Absolutely. And the next match,
some of my favorite wrestlers.
You got Smoking Hot coming up. You got accompanied by the icon Ava Everett. You got No, the Smoke Show. Ricky Smokes against Augusta Zone, as we found out, from the Maine, formerly known as WWE. Dirty Dango.
Dirty Dango.
And it was a very, very...
I just want to shout out, hell yeah, Diego, Rafael Solis Rivera. AEW forever. AEW has been a great blessing in the wrestling world. For a long time, WWE monopolized wrestling, gave only viewers one place to watch unless you had some weird channel or subscribed to some other network. Now we got AEW, a lot of opportunities, a lot of great wrestling. I'm glad you're a fan of it. Definitely check it out, and a lot of the AEW classic people came here from Limitless, Maine. Like I said, MJF, first champion.
Absolutely. Chris Statlander.
Chris Stat, and you're going to see a lot more.
And this match started off originally as a singles match between Dango and Smokes, and they were exchanging Randy. They all got into Ricky's head, all the fans. He kept trying to block him, and Ava Everett had to calm him down and everything, since they are part of this new stable called Art with Aaron Rourke, who wasn't at Limitless that night.
The Don piece is actually the new Pan-Trans Optic champion.
Yes, absolutely, but the Perfectionist was nowhere to be found in Yarmouth.
It happens.
Absolutely, so you had them going back and forth. They kept taunting each other. It was mainly a taunting match, but Ava Everett was trying to hit Dango, and then the referee was going to throw Ava. But Dango grabbed the mic, saying he had another idea. He's done so many dirty things in his life, but hitting women isn't one of them. And he knows some reinforcements, and is no other than the former Chaotic Heavyweight Champion, the person who sent John Alba packing, Davey Ann, not America's sweetheart.
Davey Ann's great.
And it turned into a tag team match with Ava and Smokes of Art versus Dango and Davey.
Wow, that's going to be a great match. And yeah, most definitely, bro. And Cancun, Mexico sounds nice, as it's very cold here right now.
Oh, wow. Thank you for watching all the way down there.
Yes, we really appreciate it. We appreciate all of our viewers.
Send us some margarita, please. Just kidding. I know the delivery fee's probably too high.
Gosh, you guys in all over the world now.
People love good wrestling. People love to listen to wrestling. Wrestling isn't just in one country. It is a worldwide sport.
I would love to, at one point, to go see a pro wrestling show in either Mexico or Japan.
Oh,
Live.
the wrestling
Amazing.
in Mexico is amazing. If you go to Triple A,
Yeah,
it's
Rey
really good. That's where the
Lucha
Lucha
Mysterio.
Brothers came from.
Absolute Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio too, and then you have a whole nother slew of promotions down there.
Andrade.
A lot of stuff, and Japan's another one that's just full of great wrestling. New Japan, very big down there.
Ooh, another one. Fights the dust. Okay, now to the match. Well, it restarted as a tag match, and Ricky Smokes tried to run away when he saw Davey and Ava, for former best friend, got so upset, and Ricky Smokes tried to hide right behind the stands, and then Dango went to the outside the barn to get him out, and they fought each other out, and then they went back in the ring. And then people chanted Dunkin' Donuts. So I guess I pointed out the Smoke Show runs on Dunkin' with his pink, brown.
Oh,
and
I can see the pictures now. I can see the picture of the thing. You described it to me, but I haven't actually see a photo of it.
Absolutely, I didn't get a coffee with it, unfortunately. But you get the Smoke Show and runs on Dunkin', and people were chanting, "We want donuts. We want donuts." And then the Smoke Show.
They must have ran out of pizza by this point.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
Smoke Show said he doesn't eat donuts to the crowd.
And yes, Diego Kalisto too. Kalisto's an amazing wrestler. Very high flying, very underused in WWE, but anywhere else is 5-star.
Absolutely, this match could be. There was a few 5-star matches in the night. We'll get to.
Yeah, I'd love to hear at the end your rating systems of these matches when we go to the end. I do want to hear how this is going to affect VSW point system and so forth.
Can't reveal all the details tonight, but we can get snippets.
Thank you, Francilda Sousa, for subscribing to the VSW podcast. As always, we thank all of our subscribers. We really appreciate the support.
Absolutely, Versace. So this match restarted. So they had the upper hand, Dango and they, but then when Davey Ann got kicked by Smokes underneath, and then Smokes was mimicking the Fandango chants in WWE. So he catapulted Davey, and she headbutted to his testicles, and down goes the Smoke Show.
That did happen.
I would have loved
He
it.
showboats too much, that Ricky Smokes.
What was his face? Because he's like the master of facial expressions. What was the facial expression when that happened?
It was like you just felt your tooth broken. You felt like you were gonna fall off the wheelbarrow.
Wow.
And then what happened is then Dango grabbed Ava, kissed her, then was gonna give her sister Abigail. It looked like snippets of Bray Wyatt, but he super kicks Ava, and then Davey Ann did their spear to Davey Ann her life. And then 1, 2, 3, Dango and Davey won the match.
And that is it.
Not exactly. There was someone in a University of Maine sweatshirt, all covered up, hits Dango with a science book.
That could only be one man
And
behind a
he's
science.
nuts.
There's only one man smart enough to read a science book. Brad Cashew.
You got it. He was so angry how he got humiliated, how he broke the rules of his 31-second challenge at the price you pay prior to Christmas. And then he was so frustrated that Dango announced that he's got an opponent and he's gonna team up with another Maine person. And this was a special guest I was talking about. I'll give you a hint. Turn it up. Scotty Too Hotty will be there
Scotty
next
Too
week.
Hotty.
Are you kidding me?
That is
My God, what a day in wrestling history this will be. My God, what a day. I can't wait for this next event. I can't wait to be there.
Three of us are gonna go.
Oh, we have to go.
Beat Scotty too hard.
The tickets aren't on sale yet. Maybe we
This
might.
Friday at 7 p.m.
Maybe we can try to beat the algorithms and actually get a front row seat if the one person doesn't buy all the tickets at once to give to
Don't
friends.
count on that, but hopefully a guy that goes with his young daughter to every Limitless show. I heard it's her birthday, so please let him get the front row tickets over us and anyone else who buys all the tickets. Please save 2 for them. Make the girl's day since it's her birthday.
Hey, we haven't sat front row since like the second show. And I know how it works. I know how the algorithm is, okay? 1 or 2 people go on there and they just buy almost the whole front row. It's all friends. And that's just how it is.
We're not friends to you guys? Come on.
No, not us. We're the VSW Podcast.
Yes,
We're
that's-
trash, for just saying. Well, don't you
Oh,
know that?
That's a different promotion.
I don't think it changed. I don't think we changed over this year from trash to non-trash or recyclable. But
We're getting there, though.
we're getting there, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big fan though, Ricky Smokes. I can't wait though to this next match. You got Scotty Juhadi. You're gonna have Fandango. You're gonna
Against
have,
Brad Cashel, an opponent of his choosing.
and you don't know who Brad can pick.
We don't know who he can pick either.
But he's a smart man, and he's gonna pick somebody.
Yes, he could.
I'm not sure who it's gonna be, but I think it's gonna pick a good partner though.
It's gonna be Big Papa Pump.
It's gotta be someone smart.
Steiner coming to Limitless next show. That would be something.
Maybe you can get Matt Stryker. He was a school teacher.
He's gonna get somebody. You know who he should get is the genius, Lanny Poffo.
The genius.
Yes,
Oh,
right?
Poffo.
Bring in the genius, Randy Savage's young brother. And wrestling legend.
It should be Chase Del Monte with Cashew.
Well, they usually team up in Chaotic, but I don't know if Chase would want to be involved with that attitude.
I don't know, but Chase was sitting there, so who knows what he's really doing there.
Absolutely.
More speculation. Are we ready to move on, though, folks?
We sure are.
Yes, Versace and Wolf.
The next match was a tag team match.
Oh, one of my favorite things
They
in
are
pro
guys who've
wrestling.
been featured on AEW television. We see them at Beyond. They used to wrestle in Chaotic.
I chanted for them personally to please come back.
Bear Boulder, Bear Bronson, Bear Country versus the Vibe. Drip, drip, drop of Danger Kid and Aid Negro. They are known as MSP the Vibe.
The Main Street Posse.
They aren't Main Street Posse anymore. They're mainly just MSP.
And this is why they're MSP, because he says Main Street Posse. Their real original name was Main State Posse.
Yeah.
And they couldn't deal with all the ring announcing, just botching the name. So let's make it simple. 3 letters, MSP. They had the vibe. They got their own thing
They were
going.
coming off a main event victory to close out the price you pay over. And JD Drake and Anthony Henry.
They have one of the
JD
greatest.
Drake
They have one of the
definitely
greatest.
stars there.
They have one of the greatest chemistries in professional wrestling. They're featured in PWI, top tag teams. I've seen them in almost every promotion that I've been to.
They've always brought their best athletic speed to the Vibe, to the state of Maine, where they're basically the franchise faces of Limitless.
So I mean, this is like a dream match here.
Absolutely, them in Bear Country.
Not that Randy Carr cares about tag team wrestling so much, but he does know how to book good tag team matches.
Absolutely, it was one of the only advertised tag team match of the night. Well, the match before turned into one, but it was a very good match where Danger Kid tried to taunt Bear Bronson, and then Bronson wasn't going for any of it, just slapped him around, and Agro and Boulder fought outside the ring, so it was Very great. They have their typical jumps that everyone loved, and the brute strength and physicality of Bear Country is amazing.
What do you think about it all, Mike?
For which the this specific match with MSP?
Yes, with Bear Country.
Oh, I thought Bear Country. They are two big wrestlers. I think I've seen them once or twice before, and they're both big wrestlers.
Well, obviously, if they face Jurassic Express in a Godzilla vs. King Kong match on television.
One of the guys, he leaped well over the top rope onto MSP, and that was pretty impressive. And they can do a lot of high flying moves as well, and they're also technical in the ring. I think they're very
strength versus technical, and it can be done right. Absolutely, and the brute strength when a Boulder picked up Danger Kid and just walked away and dropped them. Like they were showboating some strength, but you got MSP trying to get their signature moving somersaults, and it still wasn't enough to
they've been having a little bit. I mean, I have to say, MSP's been having a little bit of struggles in their tag team matches. All the way going back to when they did change over to the Vibe. They've had some tough losses. I'll go back to that key. I'll go back to that key tough loss of Garcia and Blackwood. That really costed all the tag teams everything.
You're never gonna let it go like Frozen, aren't you?
No, but I mean, just prior to that, you had Prestigious basically made fools of them
in the first event back with fans
with Alexander Lee and that's basically what sent MSP going their own way. And we haven't seen Alexander Lee in Limitless, I don't think, since. I mean, maybe at the Harmon Show, but not here.
Not at all.
Not in Yarmouth.
Not at all. It definitely changes things. They have to learn to fight without Lee, and they have pretty succeeded in that.
They have, and we've seen them outbranch. We've seen them go all the way down to Florida. No Peace Underground. They've been to Jersey. All sorts of promotions.
In Wisconsin with Green last week.
Minnesota, Wisconsin. You can go on and on. New York, they will go anywhere. They've wrestled in a multitude now of promotions. Really made a name. Like I said, they've broken out of that little bubble. They're in that PWI, top tag teams. They're the future of tag team wrestling as well.
Absolutely. You've got great tag teams such as the main event, Waves and Curls. And hopefully the competition get back, same as the Sea Stars. They're not all healthy.
But you got one of my favorites, the main event.
Just mentioned that. The hula hoop in their circus style.
Well, it all depends. Like I said, they've been teamed up as a trios for a minute now, too. So it all depends how they're being used. I, honestly, as much as I'm a fan of Kitano, I prefer main event as a straight tag team.
Oh, me too. Even though Kitano's great, like we talked about earlier, they're better as a tag team. But it was Bear Country using their typical running from carrying one another to somersault slamming the MSP to get the victory. And they all shook hands, hugged, and had a beer backstage after.
So it was a friendly match. I think two tag teams showcasing against the other two top tag teams, and they both had respect. And that's one thing MSP does have for all their opponents is respect
and honor.
And honor, exactly. They're very, respectful and honorable. I've only seen them really go dark once, and that was out in Jersey at the Lab. And they weren't favored, and they were kind of just in the fans' faces, kind of spitting at people, kind of spitting at the talent.
Like Alec Price used to do.
Kind of like Alec Price, yes. And that's the only time I ever saw that out of them. Every other time, they are very respectful, shaking hands, showing, that they respect their opponent. So, it doesn't surprise me that this happened here. And congratulations to Bear Country for, pulling off a great victory. I hope Randy Carver was watching this again to show, there is great tag teams.
There was one of the best matches, top two of the night.
And,
I hope Randy Carver invites Bear Country back.
I want
Oh,
to see.
he will.
I want to see Bear Country versus Slaughterhouse.
Oh, I did too. With Cindy Bacabella. And
Mortar and Smash Master, just a duo of destruction.
Absolutely, they've really formed during the pandemic, that team.
Now let's move on to the main event of the evening.
And it was the most anticipated Limitless match of the winter.
Charlie Mason.
Charles Mason, the root of all
Charles
evil,
Mason.
versus the almighty, he's a change man, Beef the Freak. So, in a dog collar match. And I know you were really looking forward to this.
This was the other event, and I was like, what's gonna be more physical, this or that Rip Bison? But this had a lot of emotion behind it, a lot of meaning behind it,
a lot of very personal issues.
Personal issues, indeed.
The night before, Beef wrestled for an MLW in Dallas, Texas, and on Friday night, and then he has to go all the way to Yarmouth, Maine, to face Charles Mason in a dog collar.
And he was ready to kill him for a long time. So I don't know if you were aware, Mike, but Charles Mason grabbed a picture of his recently deceased dog. I think it was Pooey or something like that.
And set it on fire. He burned it.
Because he's a sick fuck.
He is a sick fuck. We've seen him do sick fucking things. We've seen him
stab Becca.
We tried to stab Becca. He sniffed her scrunchy like a certain president.
And he was hired as Ava's hitman to get rid of Love Dog.
He was definitely hired to get rid of Love Dog. We've seen him make kids cry. I've seen him do incredibly disturbing things.
He comes out in his typical song. He had a guy in pink hair on the collar leash. And then he was choking him and then let him go with on the forehead the name of Beef's dog.
Oh, that's sick. That's real sick.
Kind of disturbing that Rich Palladino had to warn people. You must stay away from your cell phone and be aware and to have parental advisory content. Because this match was physical and draining.
Wow, Rich had to make an announcement. But like I said, a lot of emotion behind this. Charles Mason is a very physical battle. You can see him even in GCW.
He opened Hammerstein Ballroom show, which was disappointing on many diehard wrestling fans.
Well, no, it's not that it was disappointing to diehard wrestling fans. You got to understand what New York wrestling is about, the Athletics Commission, how it works. As a wrestling show, I heard it was great. As a GCW show, I heard something else, but I haven't personally seen it yet. I was supposed to go. I got taken out that whole weekend with some, family issues, so I didn't get to go to any wrestling. But I will plan on watching all of this. I do plan on watching all of this at some point. I know I can buy it on Fight Net TV, and
there will be streams on IWTV.
And IWTV will have Limitless soon. But let's get back to this match again. So you had, people fighting nights before and days after.
And you had Beef come out with the Bud Light spraying it near the fan. He was ready to kill him.
He was pulling the old Austin kind of trick, eh?
Absolutely. White trash collar.
Gotta love him. You gotta love Beef. He's another one. He's another one that's broken out the bubble. You seen him fight all the way in Chicago this year. And he took the victory over AG.
Oh, I know it. He'll go anywhere someone fucks with his family, You have
to. And this was personal matchup. And when you have a personal matchup.
Versus Charles Mason. Wrong.
Right? And there's nothing more personal, let's face it, than a dog collar match, folks.
You haven't seen that since the 80s.
Well, no, we saw Rip Bison fight one earlier in the year.
It wasn't a dog collar match, it was a strap match.
Oh, that's right. It was a strap match. My bad.
Oversight, the joys of not being there.
Straps, collars, look. We haven't seen this kind of violence in a long time.
Absolutely, we really haven't.
I think me and you, Mike, were supposed to fight in a strap or a dog collar match at one point.
We were. We were getting that set up.
And that guy was stupid. Wanted us to pay for. That wrestlers to pay for everything too.
Oh yeah. Maybe we'll have to have that match someday to have a little test of strength.
In
You already
time,
got
in
an
time.
undefeated streak going this last
Ah, you
year.
already beat the Wolf, didn't you?
No, not the Wolf. Someone very close to the Wolf that people think is the Wolf.
Oh, your alter ego, the one that they say is your twin. Kind of like what they did. Kind of like Sydney's friend.
Joey Eastman.
Exactly. They always kind of call him his good friend, the good one. County beat Brian. You beat him in a wrestling match.
The Wolf wanted to avoid this, KP.
Oh, I'm glad you
Once I got
did.
that letter from, once you and Rock got the letters, the Wolf was out.
I'm glad you did. I know you weren't at the Rage in the Cage show, but yeah, we did see you at. I thought, well, like I said, I was gonna invite you to that first show, and I decided to pull you out, have my friend Brian come in because honestly, I didn't want to get you into the controversy of having to fight in some backyard league wrestling.
That thinks they're ready for ticketed shows.
Oh, ticketed more than that. They were selling meet and greet packages. And they don't even have no merch to sign or anything to give away. So what are you really meeting? What are you really greeting? But that wasn't this match, and that wasn't this promotion. And this match, like I said, this was about blood, guts, violence, and retribution.
Choking, absolutely. There was a lot of slams in this match. Mason really tried to bite Beef too. It was really brutal. They grabbed chairs involved.
Really?
All hell broke loose. It was an intense matchup. It was a brawl. It was a brawl like no other.
That's incredible. That's just kind of crazy, honestly. I mean, just what's crazy about this whole show to me is just how good it actually is. Going from the bottom of the card to the top of the card, there is not one match that I could say isn't an an incredible matchup, and there isn't one match that actually isn't in the right spot.
Exactly.
Like this is almost a perfect card.
It's like Randy heard us and made audibles.
I mean, I don't know if they heard about our issues with the last Limitless show. It wasn't with the wrestling talent themselves or the wrestling matches themselves. It was with the placement of matches.
Yeah. They had all the big moments in the first half.
This kind of changed that, and I can see, I mean, I didn't get to see personally, but I can see from hearing it, and, you know, you showed me some footage. I'm seeing some of the footage that you're putting up on the VSW Podcast YouTube page, which is where we put up all the footage of the shows that we attend. And like I said, I mean, everything is just lined up perfectly.
And like I said, starting the title first, it made a lot of sense now looking back at it.
But let me ask you this: did Beef get retribution?
Oh, he sure did. Mason got to bleed from his whole face, and it was beautiful. There's a desiccated.
Beef was victorious on
Victorious Beef RG.
That's great, you know, and it's always good to see, you know, the right man win. If you know, I think Mason didn't know what he was getting into when you screw
he won
with him.
The first matchup.
Yeah, but when you screw with a man's love for his dog, that's like a man's child.
No guy you want to fuck with.
That's like a man's child. You don't fuck with a man's child, and that's just what he did, and he felt the pain.
Here comes the pain like Lesnar.
Yeah.
He had a very busy weekend, and then I'm sure on his way back to Kentucky, he felt very fulfilled after that main event win at Limitless this past Saturday night. He gave it his all, and he was victorious over that crazy Charles Mason.
Definitely someone to watch in the industry. Actually, both of these guys, and it'll be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see now, you know, what happens because you know, it seems like this feud is going to be fizzled out or ended. What's next? What's next for Mason? What's next for Beef?
Hopefully, we'll find out next show.
Yeah, we will. And that's gonna bring me I kind of want you guys to give me your recap. I want to hear your ratings to say Wolf. Kind of want to hear how everything went. I mean,
I thought out of the matches I rate are out of the typical 5-star, but unlike Meltzer, I try to do it in a constructive criticism, positive manner. And here's the thing, and it's going to make a huge impact. All I'm going to say is coming into the first match, AC Romero was 1-0. Both and Alec Price, they were both victorious in the first event, Wrestlable in the White Eagle and Worcester. And you really want to win that match because being 2-0 is going to have a huge impact. Well, they're both 1-0-1. Ties don't hurt you. But the thing is that once we have our ranking system coming out in the spring, isn't that right for Sanji?
that is. I'm very excited to be on releasing that, and we'll probably have some kind of written out instruction of how that will all be done as well.
So I would like to give my 5-star matches was the tag match to MSP and Bear Country. The only match that I thought was a little under 5, even though it had really good moments, it was 3.5, was the Smokes versus Dango during the tag match.
Really, and why is that though?
It was a really good match. It didn't have too many of those moves. It was mainly just taunting and gloating, but it was really great to get the crowd fired up after the pay-per-view. It was a 3.5, which was probably the lowest I would give any match on the card. And you had the Becca and Hayan was a good 4.0. Could have went on a little bit longer.
So it sounds like overall you got like almost like a 4.4, 4.3 total show.
Absolutely. I thought it was better due to the placement. And you give a 3.75, almost 4-star to the JD Drake Open Challenge. Those are usually not 5-star matches, but Love Doug really did great. One of his best matches besides the Ava match in the anniversary show.
And what were you gonna say, Mike? You were gonna just say something.
I think the show rating between with all the matches, it was nothing under a 4. So anything from 4 to 5 stars.
Yeah, and that's why I got
each match had meaning. That's
kind of they did
ratings well for my match.
Well, they all was telling the story, and the stories all have been going along, and which has been great because, I mean, the stories were great before, but we had something called The Road. They're actually doing a really good job driving the storylines of their matches without the use of a weekly televised show. And it can be hard to do, but they are doing it. They're telling great stories.
That
and we're
Slade
getting
and
these
Bison match was a 4 because it was a very hard hitting, evenly match.
And we're getting this great matches. And yes, I mean, like you said, you displayed it blow by blow. Very even out match.
And you got Price and Romero, which was 4.25. If they had gone on as a main event, getting the match we thought we were going to get, but they saved their strength for next match, would have been a 5. Their chemistry between the high-flying Price and the strength and hoss of AC Romero, they have really good chemistry as they closed out a season episode of The Road. With the chops and everything, it was really great.
So we can only imagine that the next show is just going to be even better. I mean, we have a few matches kind of we talked about, got teasings. That AG ref match.
That was a 4 with fatal.
We're going to see a WrestleMania moment and AG is Tyson, thinking he's in Alec Price's corner, and all of a sudden, bam, super kick to the face. Down goes Price, AC baby, AC baby. AC baby, my God, we have a new champion.
Could happen.
Could you imagine that, Versace? New champion next show.
This is something that is a possibility, and I'd love to see it. Shit, I mean, I would love to see it. I like to see these kind of things.
It's all overdue for AC. He deserves it.
AC does deserve it.
Especially part of the unit where they'll have all the heavyweight titles in New England.
They will?
And what was your favorite match, Mike?
My favorite match of the show, I would say I liked Becca's match. I liked Alec Price versus
AC?
Romero, and I thought Slade versus Rip Bison was great. And I one more, let's say, and I liked Bear Country's match. I
thought the top two, like I said, 5-star match was the Bear Country match, but yet the dog collar match be a 4.75.
I can't wait to kind of watch this on IWTV and throw out my own ratings. I mean, I can't just base it off clips and hearsay alone. But, story does play a factor into it. Do these matches make sense? What's the meaning behind them? And this rip match, the rip match and the beef match really had a good drawn story, especially beef with the whole dog incident and everything. And
JD Drake versus Love Guy was great too.
That was a great match. It did way better than I thought this segment would.
Well, like you're saying, only the challenges sometimes don't do well, but sometimes they're there just to fill space. But this was really Love Dog trying to get a victory and really trying to win the challenge.
The match with Dirty Dango and Ava Everett and things that mix up there was also great too.
That's a great
So
spot.
we're just gonna really have to wait and see what is gonna be in store next in Yarmouth, Maine.
End of February. I love that Saturday night in Yarmouth. There's no better tradition.
Nothing.
February, is it end of February?
End of February.
Well, the last show did good. It was mainly the match orders, but Limitless on a Friday didn't feel quite right. But
and the nice thing about Limitless, they always have a great crowd, usually a sold out show.
Very dedicated.
Great crowd, great fan base, good pizza. It's a nice time.
Great bar. They have Rolling Rocks.
You love the Rolling Rock. You go all the way to Maine for it. Plus, if you're smart like the Versace Stone, you hit the dispensary too, save $1 or $2. It's a good time. Oh, it's a great time.
Worth paying the tolls for.
It sometimes can be. But I'll tell you this, guys. It's been a great episode here in the VSW podcast. Thank you,
I'd like to thank you, Mike, for coming with me.
It was a pleasure being
just
on.
Just film more, buddy.
Again, Wolf and Versace. We had a great show.
We will be in contact. You'll be probably doing more VSW podcasts. Work with us. We'll see you more and more at shows, covering the great content, coming on us, talking with us. So we will catch up with you soon. Have a great night, Mike.
Have a great night, Versace. Have a great night, Wolf. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Got it, Mike. Oh, that was so good, Versace.
That was a great time with our friend Mike there, talking Limitless Wrestling. I really am sad that I did miss this show, but sounds like you guys had a great time.
You know what the sad part is? I don't mean to humiliate you, my friend, but every time you miss a show, it turns out to be one of the really great shows of the year. Like Chaotic Final Fight. I hope it's not a curse.
Yeah, but I've also been to a lot of the great shows too.
You too? Of course you have, buddy. But I can't wait for the next one. You got Scotty Too Hot.
But hey, if we were gonna talk about your theory about me missing shows, well, what happened with the NCW shows that I did not go to? But the 2 that I did go to were off the chart.
Absolutely, Versace.
So, I don't know. You can leave that up to yourself, but I can't wait for this next Limitless show. What do we got this week? What are we doing this week? What do we got on the agenda?
Hopefully there's no big weather, but we got a conflict of interest again. We had similar one in August and one in October and November, but it's different. This one, not only do we have Chaotic's debut in New Hampshire's first wrestling show in half a decade or more. You have Chaotic showcasing the students in Dover, New Hampshire. And you got the Royal Rumble on a rare Saturday occasion.
And then we got the New England weather fighting hard.
And they want us to watch the Rumble. Who the hell knows?
They want us to watch nothing if it knocks out the cable and the internet. You're not getting to watch anything, Wolf.
Absolutely, Versace.
But do we have any Wolfcast this week? We're going to be covering.
Yes, we do.
When are we going to be covering the playoff situation?
We're covering it on Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk Bruins Celtics. As I polled people for what games they were looking forward to, there's big matchups for the Celtics with the Hawks, and you've got a big matchup of the Bruins are facing the Duck Avalanche in a rematch with former Bruin Tyler Seguin this end of the week against the Dallas Stars. So I'll talk a little bit about both. I'll talk about the NFL.
That's what I want to get into. That's what I'm here for. That's what I come on that
Unfortunately, I can't hype up a Brady Garoppolo match because unlike a Belichick-led team, when Brady has a comeback, they were down 20-6, 27-6, tied it up at 27. Miracle was going to happen until the defense gave up and Stafford had his second playoff victory, his first season with the Rams from the line. What a divisional day with.
I tell you, it was all. I'm sorry to tell you, Wolf, it was probably all the work.
Absolutely, every match was decided in a last-minute field goal, a touchdown.
It is. They tell you who's going to win and how it's going to go. If they're going to miss the kick, the field goal.
It definitely fuels the theory with the way all these games were, from Cincy and Tennessee to the snowy bowl in Green Bay with a blocked punt gave Aaron Rodgers another playoff loss to former Patriot Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers.
It could happen, but we'll talk all that talk on Wednesday night.
At least we're not Buffalo fans. Josh Allen didn't even get a chance to score after he was on both quarterbacks, Allen and Mahomes.
But our other friend that was just on must be happy with his Cincinnati Bengals.
They finally got to send a text message, not once but twice, about the Bengals winning a playoff game.
That is great. That is great. Yeah, it was all because he wore that jacket. I never even knew he owned a jacket. That wasn't red. I never knew he owned a jacket that wasn't red. Never mind a sports jacket. Never mind a non-Boston team. It was kind of bizarre, but it's given some luck, it looks like.
Absolutely. And great job, Randy Carver. One of my favorite Limitless shows ever.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Randy.
But we will be there end of the month, and if you can go up, next few weeks is Let's Wrestle. Looking forward to watching that.
Can't wait. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight.
Just say.